This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.
Power on. Power on.
It's time to take your place on the starting grid and get ready for Racer Radio. Your host, Dave Stahl, about to take you for a white-knuckled lap around the motorsports industry, covering everything from top-notch national drivers and crew chiefs right down to your local kid racers and racetracks. Watch for the apex, because here comes Racer Radio with Dave Stahl.
All right, folks, welcome. This is FM 96.1. AM 1170.
The Answer.
Racer Radio. That's Britney Sandoval, the racing school teacher. I'm Dave, the wannabe racing school teacher. We have Amanda Roberson.
Yeah, so Dirt Dude is busy because he has 2 girls graduating. Congratulations, Daddy, for that. So, yeah, he set up racer and series promoter, Amanda Roberson. Oh, yeah.
Hi,
she's
Amanda.
well-versed.
Hi, how are you guys?
We are doing wonderful. Where do you race? What's your track of choice?
My heart says Barona. I'm born and raised in Ramona and started racing Barona, so I always like to say Barona's my hometown track, and bringing the sprint cars back there now, it's even better because I did run a few years at Paris and did the micro sprints out at Barona, so my heart's partial to Barona.
Did the Paris experience curl your hair?
It was amazing. It got me hooked. So I went from a micro sprint and then took a little bit of time off and went and raced for local racer Tony Everhart at Paris Auto Speedway for 2 seasons. And what they had was a young gun class. And that was very similar to their senior class. They just run 360 non-wing sprint.
I know. Yeah, I know. You were running against Rayborn.
Yeah, Joel. Yeah, so Joel, Young Gun Series a year before I did. But Joel's a great kid, and he got famous out there at the Young Gun Series. Yeah, and
are they running that series again this year?
They are not. So I won the championship in 2019, and that was the last year they did it. So kind of a heartbreaker for us people that want to run our 360s, but don't want to go run, with the USAC guys at the 410. I mean, it's definitely a different jump in levels when you get to that.
So have you seen this new series that, what's his face? Don Kazarian and the gentleman that runs Ventura. God, I can't think of his name.
I have, and I want to welcome them down to our open competition at Barona. Bring your cars.
Well, especially with that new crate motor, that's a spec motor. Instead of spending $60K, for an engine, this is a great little class, with a spec sprint car. I think that's, once it takes hold here on the West Coast, I think it's going to be just as big as it is back east and in the Midwest.
No, I'm not sure. 360 is the biggest bang for your buck. You can go out and pick up a 360 engine for, I don't know, $8, $9, $10,000. You don't need it to be the, $40,000, $60,000 engines, But so that's kind of what we want to concentrate on is, there's a lot of 360s in Southern California, and we just need to give them another place to run at. And, when we opened up the competition at Barona, bringing in the 410s, it kind of brings in familiar faces, 2 different types of engines, and it makes a really quality show. At our June 12th race, we had 12 cars, and the main event was great. There was lots of slicing and dicing, and 5 jobs being thrown by the leaders. There was 360 cars in the mix. It was a good show. So I really encourage the 360 guys and the 410 guys that are off the weekend to, come out to Barona. We have a new promoter out there, Brent Sexton, and he's given me a lot of rein to just make the sprint cars big, and they should be. They put on a great show out there, and our series is, we're still looking to build a purse that's bigger. We gave away $1,000 to win in June, and we hope to do the same in August. And, we're still trying to look for more support and make it bigger.
Have you got a pencil?
I do.
Write down my email, Stall, Stall, D for David, @cox.net. You send me an email And the next time you guys come to Barona, I'll bring you and a race car down to KUSI TV because I did it for the little wing sprinters, and that was one of the biggest attendances they had at Barona because that's one thing KUSI is. It's a San Diego East County station, and we're number one when it comes to the morning show. And that's what need. That's what you need to do. You need to get that publicity out there, and we'll get some B-roll showing what you guys and girls are doing in action, and the stands will fill right up, guaranteed.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the stands, how full they were at our last race, and it showed Brent and I that people like sprint cars.
Oh.
And people want to come and run. I mean, we had people from Arizona.
Yeah.
We had a few USAC guys down, and I mean, the majority of our cars are from Ramona and San Diego and Blossom Valley. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's a good mix of familiar faces, and it puts on a good show.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think that first race you were referring to was May 1st. And for the listeners, the next one is June 12th, and then August 7th and October 2nd. I think, is that the series you're talking about? Okay, just so we can start penciling in on our calendars, listeners. June 12th, August 7th, and October 2nd.
Right.
And October 2nd, we're trying to pull a bunch to make it a good show. Like, it tends to wind down in Southern California, but I think the October show is going to be bigger and better, and we hope to, bring in some heat race sponsors and some product sponsors, and we have a few that have signed up for the whole series for this year, but I think by October we'll be able to bring, I'm saying 15 to 20 cars, but I mean, I'll be happy with 15, but we just want to make it big, and we really want to give the racers a place to run. We are racers, and we know what racers expect, and I love giving out cash to the racers at the end of the night.
We like cash. Can you give us some names? Maybe some of our listeners will want to come and follow or root for a driver.
By the way,
last race, we had Trent Williams down. We had, who's a normal USAC driver. We had Vern Sweeney down, who is also a USAC driver. Alec Bender, who's our local little hometown hero that goes up and runs Paris. We had Tyler Hadzikian, who also runs up in Paris in the senior sprints. Chris Trammell, who's from Ventura, came down. He drives he's my boyfriend. He drives our car. And then we had Tony Everhart and the track record holder Eric Evans and a few other.
Oh, we know Eric Evans. Eric
do.
Evans could win in a grocery cart.
He put on. He got 2 410s at that first race, and the field wasn't spread out at all. Like they were all coming for those 410s. At that point, I was like, 10 more laps.
Right. 10 more laps. That was a good list of names. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, that was really, really good. And that's the other thing too.
Thank them for coming out and supporting us.
Well, that's the other thing too. And it's a great way to generate sponsorship. Let sponsors know that hey, you hook up with us. We'll get you on local radio and TV. Because that's what the sponsors are looking for, the name recognition, letting people know, that they're involved outside of just the fans that go to Barona. You put them on a local television and station, give them some radio airtime to talk. That's usually what will loosen up the checkbooks. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been really fortunate. We have Trent Shoring, who's very involved in motorsports. Actually, Ryan Malloy, the youngest Malloy, is really involved in it, and he's totally getting a kick out of supporting the local track. And for the local people, we have Brewer Crane and Rigging. They're out of Lakeside. Mm-hmm. Keys Brothers Racing, Cheers of Ramona. They're helping out a bit. And then DeWalt San Diego is donating some product. And then I have some random, people that come in and give me some cash for like last race. We had Logan CV, the USAC national midget driver. Him and his dog kicked in $50. So at our drivers meeting, we had a lucky dog drawing, and a driver instantly got $50 for just showing up to the drivers meeting. So just little stuff like that.
It's all, you know what? It's all it takes. You're absolutely correct.
So I really hope everybody really tries to come out to our June 12th race. It's going to be another fun night. The track is great. Barona has a really good thing going on right now. We have a Friday night open practice before every race. So you want to bring your sprint car down, you can come practice Friday night. You can camp at the track. You can bring your friends and family in. They can bring coolers into the track. and, race Saturday night and camp and go home Sunday. So it's a really great setup, and the facility's only getting better and better.
Isn't it, though? They have, when Brent came on board, it's really, really, flattening out that one area to the east where people could park up on top and get a nice bird's eye view. The whole place is just, you're right. It's become a premier track, and I think more and more drivers that come in from out of town, will realize that. And I'd like to eventually see Barona, Paris, and Kokopah work a schedule between the three to where all the race divisions get the maximum exposure and the drivers have fun places to drive.
And I would also like to include Ventura Speedway into that too.
Oh yeah.
We are all within 200, and I say 208 miles because I live in Ramona. I know what it takes to drive to Yuma. I know what it takes to drive to Ventura, and there's no reason that we can't work together. And I busted my butt off when USAC pushed out their schedules, and we were still kind of in COVID land, and I busted my butt off so we didn't conflict with the tracks. Paris is standard USAC, and so that was really easy to pull around. And the last thing I wanted to do was, conflict with the USAC 360 series that races all over California. But it's hard to take into account when, they go run Tulare and stuff, because that is out of our distance.
Right.
So I'm trying to work really hard. I pushed our schedule out into February just to say, hey, come race with us. It doesn't conflict with Paris.
Right.
Kokopah hasn't gotten sprint cars yet, but I hope the buzz will get to them, and maybe they'll welcome us for one or two races.
If you need our help in any way, shape, or form, we're here for you. You got my email, so there's no excuse. Did you know this one kid that races sprint cars named Brody Roa?
Yeah, he needs to get his butt down to Barona and run. I think he was thinking about coming down for May, but
that sounds like.
Come on,
Hey.
well, we'll try and talk him into it.
Guess who's on next?
That I hear that, and that sounds great. I want to also encourage anybody and everybody that wants some more information on this. We have a pretty active Facebook page. It's Barona Speedway Non-Wing Sprint Cars. Check it out. Give us a like, and send me a message on Facebook if you have any questions or concerns. It's open competition, no rules. Come run what you brung and bring a cooler.
All right, I'm gonna throw that at Brody because he's coming up next on the Paris Auto Speedway second. All right, kid, thanks for calling in, and we look forward to talking to you down the road.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Take care.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, a whole lot more right here on Racer Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer.